What's up, everybody? I'm Bear with preparedness.com, and it is the end of a long, cold, trying day. And I would like to, without the use of a tripod today, borrow a phrase from John Mosby, nom de plume, at the Mountain Gorilla blog, whom I support on Patreon. I also own several of his books, The Guerrilla Gunfighter, The Reluctant Partisan Volumes 1 and 2, and a couple more, I believe, Forging the Hero. The guy knows his stuff, and he uses a phrase that I would like to bring to you, and let's give credit where credit is due. It is his phrase. Collapse now and avoid the rush. I love that concept. Collapse now and avoid the rush. It speaks to what I and others have been doing for years, decades in some cases. You look at Pastor Joe Fox and Sister Kate at Shofar Mountain, a decade or more of off-grid neo-pioneering homesteading in the Ozarks. The more you do now to take control of your own life, to become your own supply chain, to mitigate the disasters that are occurring nationally and internationally, the better off you're going to be. You're buying yourself time and you're building expertise now by doing the things. We call it doing the things. By doing the things now, you are in a better position if, likely when, asterisk when, the world goes sideways, when everything goes pear-shaped, as my brother, stalwart peacekeeper, likes to say. When this whole thing goes to hell in a handbasket, you don't have to worry about how to butcher an animal because you've done it. You don't have to worry about how am I going to heat my house because you're already doing it. You don't have to worry about how to plant the garden and weed the garden and till the garden and harvest the garden and freeze dry and dehydrate and pressure can because you're already doing it. You've got to jump on it. Collapse now and beat the rush. It's a beautiful concept. You know, and I think that's what most preppers get wrong. Rogue, our friend Rogue at Rogue Preparedness, recently did an Instagram post talking about, you know, how you shouldn't be ashamed to be a prepper. And I would agree with that. I don't think you should be ashamed at all to be into preparedness. However, I personally don't like the phrase prepper because, in my opinion, in my experience, most of the people that self-identify as preppers are people that stockpile stuff, but don't necessarily have the skill set or the heart set or the mindset to use that stuff. They're just basically lining the pockets of Jeff Bezos. They're just buying stuff. And that's not going to get you very far if you're not doing the things, if you're not learning how to use the stuff. If you don't know why I like these gloves versus those gloves, or I have an axe, but I don't know how to sharpen it, and I don't know what a flat bastard file is, and are you even allowed to say bastard on YouTube anymore? And I have a rifle, but I'm not entirely sure that it's zeroed, and if it's zeroed at a 100-yard square range where I got to sit on top of a concrete table and shoot 30 rounds slow fire because rapid fire is not allowed because the RSO likes to yell at people if you shoot more than one round every 3 seconds. I own a tourniquet, but I don't know how to use it. I have a knife, but I don't know how to sharpen it. I saw a chicken one time at the county fair, and I'm not entirely sure how it went from being alive and clucking and having feathers to being inside of that styrofoam thing that I bought at the grocery store. Right? You got to do the things. And so that's why the term prepper is not exactly endearing to me, because it's people, generally speaking, urban and suburban folks that buy stuff and put it on a shelf or put it in a closet or stick it in a rucksack or put it on a trailer and call it good. Where instead you should be out doing the things right now. And while it probably is cheaper, frankly speaking, to go to the store and buy that beautiful chicken breast that's laid out on a styrofoam thing with a little diaper underneath it, wrapped in cellophane with a laser printed label on it that says, you know, $4.49 a pound, or whatever it's going for, $42.99 a pound, or I don't know. I'm literally clueless. I don't know. It's probably cheaper, technically, currently, even with the global supply chain right now, to buy that at the store than it is to build a chicken coop and to raise chickens and to slaughter them and to butcher them and to pressure can or freeze dry or freeze or whatever said chickens. When all that goes away, when you can't go to the grocery store because they have decided you are no longer worthy to go to the grocery store, or you go there and it's not there to get anymore, there is no chicken, then what? Did you know right now, and I've been looking, believe me, I've been looking, you can't get turkey poults currently. And that's what a baby turkey is called, is a turkey poult. The hatcheries don't have them. Now, why is that a big deal? Well, for people like me that like to raise their own turkeys, it's kind of a big deal. And turkeys, they do reproduce after their own kind, but they're not very robust at it. If a turkey poult makes it past 10 or 12 weeks, it's going to live. Prior to that, it's about a 50-50 chance it's going to die. And turkeys aren't the most diligent parents. And so even if you have your own reproducing turkeys on property, like I do, the way that typically you go about this is you buy turkey poults. They're very hard to get right now. In fact, all of the hatcheries are sold out of them. They're also sold out of things like Freedom Rangers and even the abomination, the Cornish cross currently, because more and more people are trying to buy these things up so they can spin up their own independent supply chains on their homestead or suburban homestead or whatever they may have, their backyard chickens, their turkeys, whatever. And that's great. But what do you do if you can't get them anymore? That's the thing. Collapse now and beat the rush, man. It's a phenomenal term. It's a phenomenal term. It's one of the things that Mosby has going for him, not just the expertise, but the fact that he's very good at weaving words in such a way that they resonate with folks, especially folks like me. And so that's why we encourage y'all to do the things that matter now, because at some point, the idea that this new normal, it's just going to be normal. And whatever comes next, that's going to be the new normal. And it's probably going to be more austere, more challenging than what we have right now that's considered normal, or the new normal. And what we have now is very different than what we had even a couple of years ago. And it's probably not going to get any better anytime in the near future. So wouldn't it be good to know how to cut your own firewood and heat your house with it? Wouldn't it be good to know how to cook your own food, grow your own food, put seeds in the ground and make food come forth? How to raise and butcher your own animals, incubate your own eggs, provide your own security. Dare I say, have your own morals and ethics without being told by the powers that be what you should and shouldn't believe and how you should and shouldn't act. Turns out I've got a book for that, and it was written by God himself, and he's pretty clear at making his will understandable to people like us. You read the book and you do what it says. The end. And so, to the extent that you can collapse now and beat the rush, you should. And I'd like to, again, give a shout out to John Mosby of the Mountain Gorilla blog. I really appreciate his books and his blogs and his posts and all of that. The man has a way with words, and he's been around the world, and he's done some things, and it resonates with folks like me, and it just encapsulates the concept of what we are doing here at Bear Camp, as we so succinctly call it. This little community of homesteads that we have of people who have come out of Her My People, who are doing the things, who are eking out not even a meager existence, but a good existence, something that they should be proud of now by the blood of their hands and the sweat of their brow, with honesty and integrity and work ethic of making things happen. And that's good. And I guess maybe this is the last thing we could say in this regard. If the world never ends, and hopefully it doesn't end, the world as we know it, TWROL TEOTWAWKI, the end of the world as we know it. Okay, if that never happens, cool. My sheep still taste better than anything you can buy at a grocery store. My bell peppers are still better than anything you can buy at a grocery store. I still cut my own firewood with a smile on my face. I enjoy it. I still get to hang out with good people, and I have a higher quality of life than people who are stuck in the doldrums of suburbia, sweating away, wasting their life away under the fluorescent lights, wishing, praying, hoping that they had a higher quality of life than they do now. There's no shame in that. I love it. I enjoy it. And that's why we forcefully encourage y'all to get out there and do the same. So put some thought to that. If it's all going to hell in a handbasket anyway, shouldn't you get some reps in now so that when it does, you're better equipped to deal with it? I appreciate y'all. As always, I'm interested in your comments below. Bless y'all. Shalom.